You talk too much, always chasing, always explaining, always reaching for people who wouldn't cross the street for you. That's your mistake. You think if you say the right thing, if you prove your worth, they'll finally see you. But they won't. They're not listening. They never were. You've been running in circles trying to get their attention when the truth is they need your attention more than you ever needed theirs. That's what they feed on, your energy, your reaction, your presence. So stop giving it to them. Stop fighting for a seat at a table that was never built for you. Step back, do nothing, and watch what happens. They'll panic because of people like that. They can't survive in silence. They need noise, validation, a spotlight to hide their cracks. The moment you turn away, the moment you stop responding, the mask starts to slip. The smiles fade, the confidence crumbles, and what's left underneath isn't pretty. See, they pretend they're in control, but your attention is the glue holding their ego together. Without it, they fall apart. It's like pulling oxygen from a fire. It doesn't go out with a bang. It just dies slowly, choking on its own smoke. They'll text, they'll poke, they'll whisper your name to see if you'll turn around. They'll post things they hope you'll see, say things they hope will sting. It's not love, not hate, it's desperation, because silence, it terrifies them. They can't stand the idea that you don't care. That's the power of doing nothing. It looks like weakness to them. Until they realize it's control, real control, because the one who cares less always wins, and you've cared too much for too long. So stop chasing ghosts. Stop proving your worth to people who only remember you when they need something. Don't clap for the same hands that once left you hanging. You think your absence won't be noticed, but trust me, it will. They'll feel it like a phantom limb, aching for something that's no longer there. And the funny thing, they'll blame you for it. They'll say you changed, that you turned cold. They'll call you heartless, selfish, distant. But what they're really saying is, you stopped feeding me. You stopped giving them the validation that kept their world spinning. They'll try to provoke you, pull you back in, throw guilt at you like bait on a hook. Don't bite. Do nothing, because every time you react, you hand them power. Every reply, every defense, every explanation, it's fuel for their ego. It keeps the game going. But when you don't play, the game ends. They'll spiral. They'll start talking louder, acting bolder, anything to pull you back into their storm. They'll paint you as the villain just to feel like the victim. That's how people like that survive, by rewriting the story so they're never the bad guy. But let them talk. The truth doesn't need a megaphone. It just needs time. And time is the one thing that always tells the truth. They'll expose themselves without your help. The cracks will widen. The lies will trip over each other. Their little empire of manipulation will start to crumble. Because without you there to react, to fix, to explain, they've got nothing left to feed on. Do nothing, and the silence will do the work for you. You think you need to prove your side, to clear your name, but you don't. You owe them nothing. Not your peace, not your energy, not your words. The people meant to understand you won't need convincing. The ones who demand explanations only want control. Let them wonder. Let them assume. Let them choke on their own stories. Because here's the truth they'll never admit. They can't handle not being the center of your world. They can't stand that your silence means they no longer matter. So they scramble, dig through old messages, old memories, old wounds, looking for proof that you still care. But they won't find it, not anymore. And when they finally realize that, that's when the real unraveling begins. They'll start to overthink, replay every word, every look, every cold goodbye. They'll convince themselves there's a hidden meaning behind your calm, that you're planning something, that you're waiting for the perfect moment to strike. But the truth is simpler. You just stopped caring. That's what breaks them, not revenge, not anger, just indifference, because indifference is the sharpest blade you'll ever hold. It cuts deeper than hate. It leaves no mark on you, only scars on them. They'll try to move on, pretend they're unaffected. They'll laugh louder, post happier, act stronger. But if you look close enough, you'll see it. That flicker of uncertainty in their eyes, that quiet dread that maybe, just maybe, they lost something real. You see, attention is a drug, and you were the dealer. They got high on your reactions, your care, your energy. And now they're going through withdrawal, desperate, twitching, searching for another fix. But no one else gives it like you did. No one else sees them like you did. And that's what destroys them. They'll reach out again, softer this time. Apologies, promises. I've changed. But you've heard it all before. And this time you don't respond. Not out of spite, but because you've learned. You finally understand that not everyone deserves access to you. Your silence isn't punishment, it's protection. You're not cold, you're healed. You've just outgrown the noise, and the ones who needed chaos to feel alive, they can't follow you there. They'll call you mysterious, detached, dangerous even. Let them, because power looks like peace to those still addicted to drama. They don't understand that doing nothing isn't nothing at all. It's restraint, it's discipline, it's strength. They'll destroy themselves trying to get a reaction that's never coming. Every message unanswered, every call ignored, every silence returned is another crack in their armor. They'll crumble piece by piece while you stand there calm, quiet, untouchable. That's what real power looks like. Not shouting, not proving, not chasing, just stillness, confidence that doesn't need an audience. Because when you've mastered the art of doing nothing, you've mastered yourself. And that's what they can't stand. They can handle your anger, they can handle your tears, but your peace, that's what scares them. Because peace means they don't control you anymore. It means the game's over and you walked away first. So let them talk, let them act, let them spiral. You've said everything you needed to say in your silence. You've made your point without lifting a finger. And when the dust settles, when they're left with nothing but their own noise echoing back at them, they'll finally understand what you already knew. Attention isn't love, it's currency, and you stopped paying. So stay still, stay silent, let the noise burn itself out. Because the ones who tried to control you, to provoke you, to break you, will eventually destroy themselves trying to get you back. That's the funny part about doing nothing. They think it's surrender, they think it's weakness, but really, it's the quietest form of revenge. Because while they're busy trying to make you react, you've already moved on. You've already won. So stand there, unbothered, unmoved. Let the world spin and the noise fade. Don't chase, don't explain, don't prove, just exist in the silence they can't stand. And one day they'll finally look around and realize you were never ignoring them. You were just done playing the game. You stopped dancing for their applause, and without your rhythm, their music stopped. So keep walking, eyes forward, hands clean. Because people like that, they always fall apart. All you had to do was nothing. You ever notice how quiet feels different once you've stopped fighting for it? At first, it's heavy, like the air before a storm. Every instinct screams to move, to speak, to prove you still matter. But then something strange happens. You start breathing easier. The silence that once suffocated you starts to feel like oxygen. That's when you realize peace was never out there in their hands or their words. It was in your restraint the whole time. You stopped checking your phone. You stopped rehearsing what you'd say if they came back. You stopped watching the door because deep down you already know they always come back. Not because they care, because they can't stand being ignored. They'll circle around, testing the walls you built. A message here, a joke there, a memory dressed up as nostalgia. They want to see if you'll flinch, if you'll reopen the wound. But you don't. You've learned the difference between missing someone and missing the attention they gave you. That's the trap most people fall into. They think absence means loss, but sometimes absence is freedom wearing a new name. You start to see things differently. Their chaos used to look exciting. Now it just looks exhausting. Their approval used to feel like sunlight. Now it just burns. Because once you've lived in peace, noise doesn't impress you anymore. And when they realize that, that's when they truly start to break. Because nothing terrifies a manipulator more than a person who no longer responds. They'll try every trick in the book. Guilt, flattery, anger, silence of their own. But it's not real silence. It's bait. They go quiet just to make you wonder, to make you chase. They still think the old version of you is waiting in the wings, but that version's gone, buried somewhere beneath the lessons you bled for. Now, your quiet isn't empty. It's full of patience, clarity, self-respect. It's a room they can't enter anymore, and that drives them mad. They'll start performing for ghosts, posting things meant for your eyes, telling stories where you're the villain, because they need an audience to feel real. And you were the best one they ever had. You listened even when they lied. You cared even when they didn't. You stayed even when it hurt, but not anymore. Doing nothing taught you everything. It showed you who collapses without attention and who stands even when no one's watching. It separated noise from truth, closeness from control. You start noticing other people, quieter ones, the ones who don't need a stage to feel seen. You learn from them how peace moves, how strength whispers instead of shouts. You start building things that don't depend on approval. Morning routines, goals, habits, small victories that no one else knows about. And somehow, that feels more powerful than any applause you used to chase. Because when you stop needing attention, you become unstoppable. They won't understand that. They'll think you've gone cold, that you've changed. But you haven't changed. You've returned to yourself. The version that existed before you bent over backward trying to be seen, before you mistook noise for love and drama for connection. Now every silence is a statement. I don't chase chaos anymore. And with every day that passes, you get lighter. You laugh easier. You sleep better. You stop explaining your peace to people addicted to pain. They'll keep trying, though. They always do. They'll test the edges of your calm, poke at the cracks, looking for the old reaction. But you've learned the secret. You don't have to prove calm. You just have to live it. So when they come storming in again, loud and dramatic, demanding the spotlight, you won't even raise your voice. You'll just look at them the way the ocean looks at the rain, unmoved. Look at you, still standing. After everything they said, after everything they did, they thought they broke you, didn't they? They thought their little jokes, their whispers, their lies would destroy you. They thought humiliation would make you disappear. But here you are, still breathing, still fighting, still rising. Funny how God works, isn't it? He doesn't clap back right away. He lets them talk, lets them mock, lets them build their little stage. And then he flips the lights and exposes them for what they really are. Because God doesn't forget the hands that tried to push his child down. He keeps receipts. You see, they thought making you small would make them look bigger. They thought embarrassing you would elevate them. They laughed at your pain, mistook your silence for weakness, your kindness for fear. But what they didn't know is that every time they tried to humiliate you, heaven was watching. Every tear, every insult, every betrayal recorded. And now, it's payback season. Not your kind of payback, not revenge. No, this one's divine. This one's poetic, because God's about to humble those who tried to humiliate you. They thought the crowd would cheer them on forever, that the spotlight would stay on them. But what happens when the same people who clapped for your downfall start seeing the truth? When they realize the one they mocked was the one carrying grace all along? Oh, that's when it gets interesting. That's when God steps in. Because when God humbles someone, he doesn't whisper it. He shows it. He'll let them choke on their own pride. He'll let them trip on the very lies they built around you. And while they're stumbling, you, the one they laughed at, you'll be rising in peace. Not loud, not desperate, just glowing, unbothered, favored. You ever notice how humiliation has a way of exposing both hearts? It shows who's cruel and who's chosen. You were humiliated, yeah, but you didn't lose your integrity. You didn't clap back with venom. You stayed silent even when every part of you wanted to scream. And that silence, that's what got God's attention, because he saw the pain you hid behind that calm face. He saw the tears you cried where no one else could. He saw it all, and now he's moving quietly, powerfully. They won't even see it coming. See, God doesn't need to humiliate those who humiliated you. He'll do something better. He'll elevate you in a way that humbles them. He'll put you in rooms they said you'd never enter. He'll make your name echo in places they swore you'd never belong. And they'll have to watch from the sidelines, powerless. As you become everything they said you'd never be, they'll scroll through your success in silence. They'll see you healed, thriving, glowing, and it'll eat them alive. Not because you wanted revenge, but because you became living proof that God defends his own. Remember when they tried to shame you in front of everyone, when they thought breaking your image would break your soul. Oh, they thought they were so clever, but God saw that moment. He saw how you kept your head down instead of fighting back. He saw how you took that pain and turned it into purpose. And now he's about to turn the stage they mocked you on into the stage. He blesses you on they wanted a show. They're about to get one. And you're the star. You ever notice how humiliation has a shelf life? It burns for a moment, but truth outlives it every time, because the same crowd that laughed at you will one day whisper your name with respect, and the ones who pointed fingers will point at your success and say, "I knew them once." They won't say it out loud, but deep down, they'll remember. They'll remember how they laughed when you were at your lowest. They'll remember how they turned their backs when you needed them most. And now Now they'll have to live with the truth that they tried to shame someone chosen by God. That's the thing about divine justice. It doesn't always come fast, but when it does, it's undeniable. You can't run from it. You can't spin it. You can't pretend it's luck, because everyone around will see God did that. And when it happens, don't gloat. Don't mock them back. Just smile, because your glow up isn't about revenge. It's about revelation. God's not blessing you to prove them wrong. He's blessing you to prove himself right, to show the world what happens when someone endures humiliation with grace. That's real power, not shouting, not fighting, just rising. You see, humiliation doesn't destroy chosen people. It refines them. It strips away pride, ego, illusion. It teaches you who's real, who's fake, and who's only around for the applause. And once you've been through that, you don't fear anything anymore, because you've seen the bottom and you survived it. You've looked shame in the face and said, "Not today." And that's when God says, "Now I can use you." Because humble hearts carry heavy crowns. And you, my friend, are being prepared for one. The humiliation was the test. The humbling is the reward. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. You don't have to prove your worth, your peace, your growth, your strength. That's your proof they thought they took your dignity, but all they did was dig their own lesson. Because when God humbles, he doesn't need your help. He does it in his timing, in his way, and it always hits different. The same mouths that said, "Who do they think they are?" will one day say, "I always knew they'd make it." That's how it goes. That's divine irony. That's what happens when you stay still and let God fight your battles. You ever seen someone so desperate to make you look bad that they end up exposing themselves instead? That's what's about to happen. God's going to let them talk just long enough to reveal their own heart. Then he'll silence them, not with shame, but with your success. He'll humble them with your peace. He'll humble them with your glow. He'll humble them with your joy. They won't understand how you kept your light after all that darkness. They'll call it luck, but you'll know. It was grace. You've been quiet for a while now, healing, rebuilding, learning who you are without their approval. And soon, the same people who once laughed at you will have to watch God lift you, not because you begged for it, but because you deserved it. That's the beautiful thing about humiliation. It sets the stage for elevation. They threw dirt on you, but they didn't realize they were planting a seed. And seeds grow silently, powerfully, until one day, boom, you're towering over everything that tried to bury you. And when you rise this time, you won't rise fragile. You'll rise fearless. You'll rise knowing your worth doesn't come from crowds or approval. It comes from God. And that realization, that's what humbles your enemies the most, because they can handle your failure. They can handle your silence, but they can't handle your peace. They can't handle seeing you shine without bitterness, without revenge, without even mentioning their names. That's what eats them alive. That's what humbles them the most, watching you win with grace. So don't rush it. Don't force it. Let God finish his work. Because when he's done, the same ones who mocked you will have to watch him honor you, and there's nothing they can do about it. You don't need to clap back. You don't need to prove a point. Your existence, your comeback, is the point. Every time you breathe, every step you take, you're walking proof that humiliation doesn't define you. it refines you. They tried to make you look weak, but all they did was make you stronger. They tried to strip your name, but God's about to write it in bold. They tried to bury your light, but you're about to blind them with it. So yeah, let them talk. Let them pretend. Because God's not done yet. He's preparing your stage. He's setting your moment. And when it happens, when he lifts you up, they'll have no choice but to watch. And that's when they'll realize humiliation was never the end. It was the setup, the divine setup for their humbling and your rising. So hold your head high. Don't rush the process. Don't let the noise distract you, because God will humble those who try to humiliate you. Not with your pain, but with your peace. Not with your revenge, but with your resurrection. And when that day comes, and it will, they'll know, they'll all know that you were never the joke. You were the lesson. You know what the most beautiful part of all this is? You didn't have to become bitter to survive. You didn't have to match their darkness with your own. You just kept walking, bleeding maybe, but still walking. And that, right there, that's what separates you from them. They threw stones. You built an altar. They used lies. You used faith. They tried to destroy your image, and somehow you found your identity. See, they don't understand how you kept your heart soft when the world gave you every reason to go cold. They can't grasp how someone who was humiliated so deeply could still smile. But that's what happens when God's hand is on you. You glow from a fire they can't see. They tried to shame you publicly, but God's about to honor you publicly. They mocked you in front of people, but God's about to bless you in front of the same crowd. Because his justice isn't quiet. It's poetic. You'll walk into rooms you were once laughed out of. You'll be invited to tables that once refused to seat you. And when your name comes up, it won't be in gossip anymore. It'll be in gratitude, in awe, in silence. Because what can they say when grace rewrites the story? That's the power of God's humbling. It doesn't destroy, it redeems. It doesn't humiliate, it reveals. And when he humbles those who tried to humiliate you, he doesn't do it to embarrass them. He does it to awaken them, to make them see what they did to someone he loved. And as for you, you'll stand there different. Not the same person who was mocked. Not the same soul who cried at night wondering why no one stood up for you. You'll stand there rebuilt, refined, free. You know what's wild? It's not the argument, not the disrespect, not even the betrayal that gets them in the end. Nah, what destroys them is what came after. Your absence, that empty space where your voice used to be, that silence where your presence once filled the entire room. That's the part they never prepared for. That's the part that's eating them alive right now. See, people like them, they expect noise. They expect chaos. They expect you to chase, to explain, to fix things. They broke with their own damn hands. They want the performance, the drama, the tears, the anger, because that tells them they still matter, that they still have a grip on you, that they still own a piece of your mind. But you didn't give them any of that. You just disappeared, clean, quiet, deadly. Your absence, my friend, that was the plot twist they never saw coming, and now they're choking on it. Every second, every hour, every long, empty night, they're realizing something they were too arrogant to see before. You mattered more than they ever admitted, more than they ever appreciated, more than they ever realized until the moment you walked away. Because That's the funny thing about people. They only recognize your worth when it's no longer in the room with them. They only value your presence after it's gone. And right now, your absence is hitting them harder than any words ever could. They're retracing every step, every conversation, every moment they brushed you off. They're replaying the exact second they pushed you too far, hoping they can change it in their mind, even though reality already sealed the deal. And that right there, that's the real punishment. Not revenge, not anger, not some dramatic confrontation, just the cold, heavy weight of losing you. Without a warning, you know what's happening to them right now. Their ego, that big, loud thing they thought made them untouchable, is cracking, splitting, crumbling like cheap glass because your absence isn't just silence. It's a message that screams, "You're not worth my energy anymore." And trust me, that hurts them more than anything you could have said. People like them thrive off reactions. They need your attention like oxygen. They need to know they can pull you back anytime they want with a text, a call, a breadcrumb of affection. But now they're staring at a phone that doesn't light up with your name, checking messages that never come, scrolling through memories that don't hit the same anymore because you're not there to feed their ego. Your absence is haunting them. And the best part? You don't have to lift a single damn finger. They disrespected you. Not because they didn't care, but because they assumed you'd always be there. They assumed you'd always forgive, always explain, always give them another chance to play their little games. But when you left, when you stopped responding, when you took your presence, your warmth, your energy, your attention away from them, they felt the loss immediately, like a punch to the gut, like the air got sucked out of the room, and now they're scrambling, questioning, panicking behind that fake calm face. Because nothing messes with insecure people more than silence. And nothing breaks an ego more than losing someone they thought they controlled. It's quiet now, and in that quiet, their mind is screaming at them. Why did you do that? Why did you push them away? What if they never come back? And here's the thing, that fear, that regret, that sudden awakening, it's something they're going to carry for a long, long time. Your absence is the mirror they didn't want to look into. It shows them exactly who they are. Careless, ungrateful, blind to the value of someone who actually gave a damn. And trust me, that reflection, it's ugly they hate it. They can't escape it, because everywhere they go, everything they do, they'll feel the emptiness you left behind. You ever notice how someone's laughter sounds different when yours isn't beside it? How their confidence drops when the person who used to support them is gone? How their world suddenly feels smaller when the presence that held it together disappears? Yeah, that's you. That's what they're feeling now. That's what's tearing them apart, piece by piece. Look, I'm not saying you leaving made you invincible. You're human. You felt the pain, the disappointment, the sting of being disrespected by someone who didn't deserve a place in your life. But you handled it in the most powerful way possible. You walked away, not loudly, not dramatically, but calmly, like someone who finally realized they deserve better. That's what separates you from them. You don't need to destroy someone to prove your worth. Your worth proves itself the moment you remove it from their life. And they're learning that lesson the hard way now. You see, your words, they could have explained the hurt. They could have defended your side. They could have confronted them, argued, screamed, demanded closure. But your absence did something much more powerful. It exposed their mistake without you saying a single thing. They're sitting in it now. The guilt, the regret, the confusion, the realization that they pushed away someone irreplaceable. And you're out there moving forward, creating space for people who actually value you, building a life that no longer includes their toxicity. That's what terrifies them most, knowing you're no longer tied to them. Knowing they don't get another chance to manipulate your emotions, knowing they no longer have access to you. Because losing access to a good person, that is a pain that never fully fades. People think absence is nothing, that it's emptiness, a void. But no, absence is powerful. Absence is presence. Absence is a statement that echoes louder than any conversation. Your absence is saying everything they refused to hear when you were still there. And deep down, they know they deserve it. They know they caused it. They know they pushed too damn far. You're not punishing them. You're protecting yourself. But the side effect? Oh, it's brutal for them. They're replaying it all. The moment you stopped texting back, the moment your calls stopped coming, the moment your energy detached from theirs, they're feeling the loss in ways they'll never admit out loud. And here's the truth. They're realizing much too late. You weren't just someone in their life. You were the balance, the support, the stability, the one solid thing they took for granted. Your absence? It didn't just hurt them. It exposed how weak they actually are without you. But I need you to hear this part clearly. Don't go back. Don't break the silence out of pity. Don't let their regret pull you into the same cycle again. Because the moment you return, they'll think they can treat you the same way and still keep you. They'll think your presence is guaranteed. They'll think you haven't changed, but you have. Your absence changed you. Your distance rebuilt you. Your silence strengthened you. And if they ever try to come back, and trust me, they will, don't say a word. Just give them the same thing that destroyed them in the first place, distance. They'll beg for the old you, but that version of you doesn't exist anymore. You outgrew the place where they left you. You rose in the silence they couldn't handle. And when they realize that, when they see the new you, that's when it hits them hardest. Because in the end, your absence didn't just hurt them. It buried the version of you they thought they could mistreat and keep. So walk away with your head high. Let the silence speak. Let the distance work. Let the absence echo in their empty spaces. Because your absence, your beautiful, powerful, quiet absence, is hurting them more than your words ever could. But here's the thing you need to understand. Your absence isn't just hurting them in the moment. It's rewriting the way they remember you. Because when you're gone, when your energy is no longer feeding their ego, their mind does something dangerous. It starts telling the truth. Suddenly, every moment they dismissed, every kindness they ignored, every sacrifice they acted blind to, it all comes flooding back like a dam breaking in the dead of night, and it hits them hard, harder than anything you could have said, harder than any argument, harder than any revenge plan you could have cooked up, because absence has a way of magnifying reality. It forces people to face what they lost without the comfort of your presence, to numb the impact. They start remembering the things they mocked you for. They start missing the things they once took for granted. Your jokes, your voice, your patience, your warmth. Things they thought they could replace are now haunting them because nothing, and I mean nothing, feels like you. And you want to know the cruel part? They don't get that back. Not anymore. Their chance is gone. The door is closed. The chapter is done. Your absence sealed it. You didn't need to block them. You didn't need to expose them. You didn't need to announce your exit to the whole world. You just left. Quietly, completely. And that alone is tearing them apart from the inside. They're scrolling through old messages, trying to figure out where it went wrong, rewatching old conversations, looking for clues they missed, holding onto memories like lifelines because they finally realized they were the problem, not you. Attention. Funny thing, isn't it? They throw tantrums, start drama, poke at your wounds, try to drag your name through the mud, all for one thing, a reaction. They don't want truth. They don't want peace. They want your energy, your eyes, your focus. But here's where it gets interesting, my friend. The moment you stop feeding them attention, you don't just hurt their feelings. You starve their ego. You see, most people think power is loud. They think it's in the argument, the shouting match, the back and forth. They think they win when they get you to explain yourself, defend yourself, justify your existence. But real power is quiet. Real power is when you look at all their games and refuse to play. Because their ego, it's not built on reality. It's built on audience. They need you to clap. They need you to cry. They need you to chase. You deny them that and watch what happens. Think of it like this. A leech doesn't survive without blood. A parasite doesn't live without a host. Your attention is the lifeline of their ego. Your reaction is the oxygen their drama needs to breathe. They insult you. They provoke you. They test your patience. Why? Because every time you bite, you confirm their importance. You prove they still live inside your head. You show them they matter. You know what really breaks them? Not revenge, not screaming, not proving them wrong. What shatters them is indifference. You scroll past them. You walk by them. You don't flinch, don't stare, don't even blink. That silence, that lack of attention, it's a mirror they can't escape. It forces them to see exactly what they are without your energy. Small. You've seen this before. The one who humiliated you, the one who ghosted you, the one who tried to make you feel like you were lucky to have them. They expected you to chase, didn't they? They thought you'd double text, triple text, stalk their profile, obsess over every move. But the day you stopped checking, the day you stopped watching, the day you stopped reacting, that's the day the power shifted. You didn't just walk away. You took the spotlight with you, and suddenly the star of their own little movie had no audience, no stage, no script, just silence. Let me tell you about a different kind of animal this time. Not the wolf, not the lion. Picture a hawk, high above everything, just circling the sky. It doesn't squabble with pigeons on the ground. It doesn't rush into every noise it hears. It watches, it chooses, it acts when it wants, where it wants, how it wants. That's you when you learn to control where your attention goes. You don't react to every bark, every jab, every invitation to chaos. You pick your battles most of the time. You don't pick them at all, and that drives them insane because insecure people live off reactions. They're addicted to being seen, even if it's through conflict. They don't care whether you love them or hate them, as long as you're looking at them, as long as your world revolves around their nonsense. So what do? You take that world back. They'll call you cold. They'll say you've changed. They'll try to paint you as the villain because you stopped feeding their ego. Let them talk. They weren't there when you cried alone. They weren't there when the anxiety ate you alive. They weren't there when you begged for a love they weaponized against you. They only saw the parts they could exploit. Now they're upset because their favorite toy learned how to walk off the shelf. They don't miss you. They miss the control. They miss knowing that one text, one call, one word could ruin your whole day. Take that away. Watch their ego crumble. Life, my friend, is not just a battlefield. It's a marketplace. And your attention, that's your currency. Every time you stalk their social media, you're paying. Every time you argue with them, you're paying. Every time you explain yourself to someone committed to misunderstanding you, you're paying with your sanity, your peace, your time. And what are you getting in return? Stress, confusion, self-doubt. That's a terrible investment. Start treating your attention like it's expensive, because it is. Not everyone can afford it. Not everyone should. You think they're winning because they moved on faster, posted sooner, pretended they're happier. No, they're just loud, and loud does not equal strong. The strongest person in the room is the one who doesn't need validation, doesn't need applause, doesn't need an audience to feel real. That can be you. Let's talk strategy. You don't need to announce, "I'm done with you." You don't need a speech. You don't need a dramatic exit. You just stop showing up. Stop checking their stories. Stop replying to bait. Stop explaining your side to people who sat and watched you bleed. You become unavailable. Not because you're playing games, but because you're finally playing for yourself. You pour your attention into your goals, your body, your mind, your craft, your future. You build quietly. You grow in the dark where their eyes can't reach, where their ego can't feed off your setbacks. Because here's the truth. Every second you spend thinking about them is a second you're not building yourself, and they're not worth that. They were never worth that. You want to know what really breaks a fragile ego. It's not getting blocked. It's not getting insulted back. It's this, realizing they no longer exist in the world they used to control. They bring up your name and people say, "Oh, I haven't seen them talk about you in forever." They try to poke at you indirectly and you don't even blink. They walk into a room expecting tension, expecting a scene, and you greet them with the same energy you'd give a stranger on the street. That's ego death, because their identity was the one who hurt you, the one who controlled you, the one who mattered. When you remove that narrative, you delete their script. Suddenly they're not the villain, not the hero, not anything, just irrelevant. But let's be honest, it's not easy, is it? There's a part of you that still wants to prove you're right, a part of you that wants justice, a part of you that wants them to feel what you felt. You replay the arguments in your head. You imagine what you could have said. You picture the perfect comeback. But here's what you need to burn into your mind. Your peace is more valuable than their punishment. You can spend years trying to make them feel it, or you can spend those years becoming someone they'll never be able to reach again. That's the real revenge. Not making them hurt, but making them unnecessary. Your attention builds worlds. When you give it to pain, you build a prison. When you give it to anger, you build a battlefield. When you give it to clowns, you build a circus. But when you give it to yourself, you build an empire. This is what starving their ego of attention really does. It frees you. No more checking if they watched your story. No more decoding their texts. No more sitting awake at 2 a.m. wondering what you did wrong. You already know what you did wrong. You fed people who only came to take. Now you stop. So let me paint a picture. There's a theater. They're on stage performing for you, playing mind games, throwing jabs, putting on their best show for years. Every time they step out, you're there, front row, fully present, heart wide open. Then one day, you don't show up. They walk out lights on, ego ready, and the seats are empty. No arguments, no tears, no emotional fireworks, just silence and empty chairs. After a while, the mask slips, the performance fades. The costume doesn't feel as powerful anymore, because what is a performer without an audience? Nothing. That's what attention does. It validates illusions, and that's what withdrawing it destroys. But don't twist it. Starving them of attention isn't about pretending you don't care while secretly obsessing over them. That's still feeding them, just in private. It's about truly shifting your focus. You stop asking, why did they do that to me? And start asking, what can I build from here? You stop counting their flaws and start counting your blessings. You stop memorizing their patterns and start mastering your own. You don't have time to stalk their ego when you're busy building your own backbone. And here's the beautiful part. The less attention you give them, the more clearly you see yourself. You know what's even more dangerous than silence. Silence with purpose. You're not just quiet, you're planning. You're not just ignoring, you're evolving. You're not just walking away, you're walking upward. They think you're doing nothing because they can't see behind the curtain. But every day you discipline your mind, heal your heart, sharpen your skills. You're writing a future where their existence doesn't even make the footnotes. You're not the broken version they left behind. You're the upgraded version they'll never get access to. And the punchline, they helped create it, not with their love, but with their absence, not with their support, but with their ego. They thought they were destroying you. They were actually training you. So here's what I want you to remember. You don't owe anyone your attention. Not the one who betrayed you, not the one who manipulated you, not the one who only shows up to drain you. Your energy is sacred. Your focus is sacred. Stop giving front row seats to people who came to set your stage on fire. Let them seek chaos elsewhere. Let them chase reactions from weaker minds. Let them scream into empty rooms. You've got better things to do. Build in silence, heal in silence, rise in silence. And when they finally look up one day and realize they no longer have your attention, your time, your energy, your fear, they'll feel it deep, because their ego can't survive without you. My friend, when the world comes at you with drama, manipulation, and noise, remember this: you don't have to fight. You don't have to explain. You don't have to react. Starve them of attention and watch their ego collapse. That's your power. That's your freedom. That's your revenge.